Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live recorded for anybody that may be new here. What we typically do is go over news from the previous day, update myself, and I bring you guys along for the ride. We watch a couple video clips, go over all the good stuff. Bitcoin finally hit 70,000 shortly after we streamed yesterday morning. Huge Hadouken for that. Mr. DJ Mines in the chat. Let's see who else is here, and then we'll get into this. Mr. Allset Green Hash, good to see you. Lawnmower Man, Dakota Miner, let's see, Cook 4015, good to see you. Son of a Rabid Panda, good to see you. D Miners, good morning, sir. Haven't seen you first thing in a while. Good to see you. All right, let's see. Blaine Anderson and Andrew Masad actually said that he had to go back to work. I believe that was him, right? He said yes, he had to go back to work, so he's not going to be talking, but good to see you. Thanks for being here. Crypto KJ, how many? I hate you so much. I almost read that. You're going to hell, you know that? All right, let's get into this. God damn it. All right, we have Bitcoin at 68,729. Look at that. Ethereum almost $4,000. Look at this, 39.41. It's doing crazy. Look at Render. I'm so mad at myself. DJ, are you still in this? Please tell me you're still in this. Man, I did not expect it to go up that high. I told him about this at like $2, and shit, as far as I know, I sold out. I don't know if he did. LTC's $88. We got near at $6.21 rather, up 14.27%. Solana just under $150 at 147. XRP at 62 cents. ETC just under $40 at 38.22. DJ said, nah, sold mine to buy some Caspa before. Yeah, dude, me too. That's the worst. I mean, hey, listen, Caspa's done crazy good. It's having a bit of a pullback now, as you guys can see. 14.5 cents. It is down 5.52%, but it's testing previous all-time highs, which is a good thing. We need to retest for support, so hopefully it holds here. I think I'm going to buy some more Caspa today. I actually did swap into some yesterday, and it worked out nice, right? It was actually perfect. I did it through the Tangent wallet for the first time. I'm actually gonna make a video about that, I believe, at some point today if I have a second. Pepe's been killing it as well. Honestly, all the meme coins have been really killing it. Even though they show a little bit of red, they've been freaking going nuts. All right, let's jump into crypto bubbles, see what the biggest earner of the day is. Looks like it is WorldCoin. WorldCoin up 41.2%. Again, this is in the top 100 coins. It's from the past 24 hours, I believe, but it's at $10.34 a coin. Damn. We have Gala up 27.1 at 549. We have Render up 20%, again $11.69. Damn, that's crazy. I still can't believe it. I mean, it's definitely a Hadouken, but that's crazy. AXS, what is this? Axie Infinity up 15.8% at $12.22. We have AGIX, which is Singularity Net, up $1.32, or up to $1.32, up 18.8% on the day. Makers up 18.7 at what? This coin's that expensive? Jeez, $2,456. Oh my gross. No thanks. All right, we have, let's see this, Arweave up to $42.96, up 15.7%. We have Fetch AI up 21% today at $3 even. Floki's up 10.6%. This is one of the meme coins if you guys are interested. Not too bad. Bonk's actually down 8.2%. Damn, look at that. All right, nothing really crazy popping out at me, but Near Protocol's up to $6.15, up 14.8% on the day. Mana 11.8% on the day. This is the Central Land at 75 cents. Not too bad. What's the biggest earner of the week? Looks like it is Floki. Floki takes the cake on that one, 117%. Pepe is up 109%. Whiff. Dog whiff hat. This is the funniest meme ever, and I really wish I didn't ignore Crypto KJ, but I thought he was steering me down a dark path that I never returned from. And yeah, I'll just go myself. But Whiff has been doing amazing. Fetch AI is actually doing really good too. I think it's the AI narrative, to be honest, playing games with that. Shiba's actually surprised me. This is a coin that is actually, was a big thing in the last bull run, and it's still here, and it's actually doing all right. I'm kind of shocked. Do you guys think it's going to go up crazy, or what do you think? You think this is pretty much it? We're gonna see. Let's we can get over in the top 10 coins in a second, and I'll show you guys where it's at. But let's flashbang first. 84 extreme greed. This is what we got to look at every single day, see where we're at. Again, this chart, we've seen it up at like 96, 97 in the last bull run. So I think things are just getting started, but it's a lot different this time because there's a lot of talk around the space this time. There's a lot more people that know about it. So I don't know how this fear and greed index chart is taking all of that news into account. I think it's being overly bullish in the, you know, the overall sentiment, because this kind of takes like news outlets, anything like Google Trends, just anything on the internet, and it kind of throws it all into one lump sum and gives you like a overall average of what the hell's going on. So I don't know, we'll see. I wonder if it'll get, I don't think it'll get to 100. Can't get to 100, it'd be impossible, right, Patrick Murphy? All right, let's get into top 10 coins over here by coin market cap. Over on CoinGecko, we got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, Lido staked Ether, XRP, USDC, Cardano, and Dogecoin. And this is what I was talking about with Shiba. Shiba Inu is up to $20 billion market cap. That's insane. It flipped Avalanche. Dogecoin, I'm sure, is going to go up. Man, but that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money in the market. How much more do you guys think this is going to rise for Shiba and Doge, right? For these meme coins, you guys think it's going to be pretty much, I don't know, a couple more weeks before the halving and then meme coins are dead? Or do you guys think it's going to continue to just explode this run? You guys let me know in the chat, because I'm seriously interested. I was wondering if I should sell out of my Pepe actually yesterday, because I already did like a 3x on it. I think I put $100 in it. It was up to like 450. It was a little over 3x. It was totally worth it. Like, I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, I should just sell out, but I was like, whatever, I'll give it another week and see where it's at. I don't know. I feel like this one could explode because the market cap's really not much. 3 billion. All right, I mean, it's a lot, 3.7 billion, but overall, I mean, whatever. Put a MAGA hat on this thing and people are gonna go insane. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know, crazy. Casp is ranked 44. Look at that, dropping down the ranks. 3.370 billion market cap. We are there's a lot of kind of FUD, I guess, going along with DaVinci J and some other BS on Caspa, but honestly, I think it's just uncertainty and doubt. Again, just FUD. That's what it is. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I would take it with a grain of salt what everybody says about it, but Caspa is going to do good things, at least in my opinion. I think so. So I hold a decent amount of it, and I'm going to keep DCAing into it. Again, render has been like the most surprising here to me. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Like, look at this. This boner candle. It's freaking crazy. It's nuts. This is the past year. March 11th to now. It is insane. Gosh. Pepe with a MAGA hat. Dude, isn't there... I swear to God, I saw a Pepe with a MAGA hat on it, and I feel like there was... I don't know why. I feel like it's just going to be one of those coins that can be manipulated to a point where people are like, yeah, I want that. You know what I mean? For no reason. Just literally no freaking reason. Anyways. All right. Let's go. Someone said, I think someone said Myro in the chat. Myro is up to, sorry, I guess it's up 0.9% on the 20. I think this is 24 hours, this percentage right here, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, actually. I think this is 24 hours, but it's at 37 cents. Damn. How good's that been doing, actually? Actually, it's just 7 day. 7 days been doing pretty good. Wow. Holy shit. It's up like 20 cents. Wow. That's crazy impressive. Interesting. What about Bonk? How's Bonk doing? I know Bonk was down, but overall, 7 day. So it had a run up and came back down. Not too bad. It could be worse, right? All right, let's move on to the mining segment of things. We got a bunch of videos I want to watch today because I got to catch up on a bunch of stuff. I've been working all day yesterday in the studio trying to get things done. All right, Antminer KS5 Pro. You guys know I like to timestamp this. We can go back a year later and see where the hell we were. We have $178 a day on this 21 terahash unit. We have the KS5. Hold on. There's two of them now. I just realized there's two of them. All right, so they have a 21 terahash unit and a 20 terahash unit. Interesting. KS5 20 terahash unit is at $170 a day. We have the BMKS Max 11 terahash unit. Sorry, yeah, the 11 terahash unit making $85 a day. The Windminer K9 I heard somebody over at Crypto Mikkel's facility got one of these things, and it was DOA, dead on arrival, which is a big oof. I'd be pissed. I would be so freaking mad, man. Again, 10.3 terahash unit, 83.55 a day. We have the KS3 from Ice River, 8 terahash unit, making $63. We have the KS3M 6 terahash unit, making $45. Let's see, X16P, shout out to Jingle Mining for letting me borrow this thing. Let's see, we have a $25.54. I think Rabid Mining has it now, if I'm not mistaken. I set it to max, and I think it's over at Rabid's place now. I could be wrong though. Let me see, Ice River KS2 making $14.88 a day. Mr. Rud Puts, thank you for the 249 super chat. Dogecoin to the moon, run L3 plus for the win. Dude, I hope there's no way that's profitable for you. There's no way. I'm not trying to be a dick, but man, you got like $1 electric rate, no joke. You have a crazy electric rate over there in the UK. I don't know why that super chat thing hasn't worked yet either. Weird. It will soon enough. All right, Bitmain Antminer L7 9050. I got this thing down at Terra Hosting. If you guys are interested in that, go check it out. $14.53 a day. Litecoin and Dogecoin have been killing it over here at 10 cents. There it is. There's DJ screaming. Perfect. DJ cracks me up. Love it. Good morning, Backwards Miner. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Roadput said yes, but I bought them very, very, very cheap. Yes, I know. Just crazy. I don't know how you're running them over there. I really don't. You should get them hosted though. Probably be cheaper, to be honest. Let's see. All right, we have I was doing the L7 16, the X16Q. I got this thing actually mining ETC and just going directly to Caspa just to stack more. We have the Ice River KS1. Actually, I didn't even say how much that made. It's making $8.65 a day at 10 cents kilowatt hour. Man, I'm all over the place today. I'm freaking exhausted. The KS1 1 terahash units making $7.42. The S19K Pro, I got one of these down at Terra Hosting as well, $7 a day. Nice, not too bad. Could be worse. Could be worse. Just stacking some BTC. Is it actually virgin BTC? Does anybody know? Is it even virgin BTC when you're like mining it at a pool? Like how is that considered? I would assume, but I don't know. I feel like there's like a gray area because like the pool still gets it and then sends it to you, right? I think it's got to be certain pools, right? Certain pools you'd have to mine too. I don't even know. I'm using F2 pool. Is that a good pool? Let me know, please, in the chat. Let me know what you guys use for Bitcoin miners, because this is my first Bitcoin miner. I've only had it for about a month or so, actually, at this point, maybe 2. Yeah, Scott A saying it's virgin. All right. Nice hash would not be virgin or unmineable. Yeah, that makes sense, actually, because that's kind of swapping for it. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, thanks for clarifying. We have the X4Q making $3.39 a day. Again, this is a 10 cents kilowatt hour. I'm paying 30, so it's a little bit less profitable for me, but I'm swapping my unit over to Caspa for the time being because it's down and ETC's up. We have the Ice River KS0 Pros. I'm still mining Caspa on these things. $1.53 a day. Honestly, I think it's like $1.40 or so, in that range, $1.45 for me with my 30 cents, but still like $1 something a day on miners. Like, that's not bad. That's really not bad. It's paying for itself in electricity. Like, it's doing pretty well. The original KS0 is at 73 cents a day. That's kind of a, but is what it is. All right, let's get into GPUs and see what we're looking like over there, and then we're gonna jump into this. Let's see. All right, we got the 4090 mining Ironfish and Nexa. Nice. And then we have Cortex over here. Isn't that what this one is? CTXC. I always forget. You guys let me know in the chat. Pyron, top of the charts. BTG has been on a rip actually lately. Nexa, we have Pyron again. Chlor's actually doing very well too. Let's see what Chlor's at. Chlor was at an all-time high yesterday. Is it still there? Wow, it's still holding there. Holy shit. 37 cents. So it went up to almost 40. God damn. Look at that. 39.59. Damn. A Duke and for DJ. Good stuff, buddy. Good stuff. Holy shit. You know what? I unfortunately mining this, I just can't do it. And I didn't know where to buy any, and I just kind of missed the boat. It's okay to miss the boat. You can't win them all, right? I'm in a bunch of other things, but Floor just wasn't one of those things that I was into. And yeah. Didn't obviously work out in my favor. We have Hypera and Carlson. Looks like it's on for the 6900 XT. Nice. That's it. All right, so not too bad. Not too bad. Bunch of different coins you guys can mine. Florida $5 this year. You think so? Really? What's the market cap on it? I guess it's pretty low, 112 million. But like, what's it fucking do? Does it do anything really AI, or is it just bullshit? Please let me know. I'm genuinely interested. Does it actually do anything, or is it just because it says AI? Please let me know in the chat if you guys actually know. All right, and if you're just in it for the hype, then that's fine too. That's fine too. Let's see. Look at the all-time chart. All-time. Max. Nice. Look at that. Yeah, but still, I still think this is just because of the AI narrative, unless they actually do something. I don't know if they do. Does any crypto do anything? Zarkov, some do. So, yeah, that's a good point though. Some cryptos, they say they do. They say they do, right? But yeah, that's what DJ wants to show. He wants to show his amazing trading skills with his cup and handle. You got fucking lucky. Don't lie to me, bitch. You got lucky. Listen, well, it's the AI narrative. That's the main reason. Oh, I forgot to actually, before we got into this, I wanted to see if there's any new coins. No new coins here on this list. This is miningpoolstats.stream. If you guys don't know, go to new coins, and this is where you can mine new coins. But please, guys, be careful. If anybody's like doesn't know about this site, just be careful when you're downloading wallets and shit. All right, be very, very careful. All right, news of the day: Bitcoin hit 70,000 for the first time. Let's get into this. See what Bloomberg Television has to say. Again, this was yesterday morning or so, and I'm just gonna play everything kind of in order and see where all the news is at.
You look at that chart there on ETF flows, though, and you see just how much BlackRock has been beating the pack. Explain how much love you're getting for the industry.
I mean, this is really unprecedented, Shanali, to see this much money poured into new ETFs. The ETF industry has really never seen 10 funds launch all at the same time with an identical strategy. And it hasn't even been 3 months, and we're already seeing about $9.4 billion of net inflows into this space. That's despite the over $10 billion that have been pulled from Grayscale's ETF. But so excluding Grayscale, every ETF has taken in positive inflows for the year. And I think that's really why we're seeing people get so bullish and optimistic and push Bitcoin up to this all-time high, because there really is demand here for these funds. I think it's taken a lot of people by surprise just how much money has gone in.
Well, one thing that's surprising to me is how rocky of a week it's actually been for Bitcoin. You saw it hit a fresh record earlier this week, or at least surpass its old highs. You saw a big sell-off at that point. Then you see a new high at 70,000. We have retreated from that again. So how do investors really think about riding at the top here? We have still seen a lot of inflows just this week.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen the inflows, and it's interesting because after these funds were approved, we did see Bitcoin come down. So it hasn't been like, okay, all of the sudden the funds were approved, Bitcoin is now near 100K. It's kind of been a slow grind higher. But, you know, I was speaking with Franklin Templeton. They have a spot Bitcoin ETF.
Did you say it's a slow grind? This shit rocketed like 20K in like 2 weeks. What is she talking about?
Said they're seeing a lot of demand from RIA and retail investors, people who maybe through a 401k, an account that they couldn't get that exposure to. Now they're using this ETF as a vehicle. And again, the flows speak for themselves. There is demand. There are people buying despite the volatility. And also the institutional adoption, the fact that BlackRock is around a product like this, I think brings some legitimacy to a volatile asset class.
So is that a joint?
That lady's smoking something, because guess what? That's not a slow grind. There's been zero slow grind for BTC in the past couple weeks. Has been a freaking moonshot. I mean, it's been holding. It's been holding very nicely, but whatever. And DJ, I was just busting your balls, dude. I know you called it. Chlor AI down here again. Honestly, I believe it's the AI narrative on this one, though. I really don't think it's anything spectacular, to be honest. Just a cheap coin, easy to buy, and it's got AI in it. So who knows? If there's any utility, please let me know in the chat. All right, Bitcoin briefly tops 70K and then retreats. Let's see what Yahoo Finance had to say. Let's do it.
We got to talk Bitcoin here. The rally raging on for the biggest digital currency, rising to $70,000 for the first time. Yes, you did see some retreat there after hitting that really historic milestone, but what a move. Just back up the chart. It has soared more than 60% this year. Of course, we know there's been surging demand for those new spot Bitcoin ETFs approved in January. That has been a big primary catalyst for the kind of move we've seen. Some other possible catalysts on the way. You know, Julie, we've been talking to Bitcoin Bitcoin bulls this week. They'll point to, of course, the so-called Bitcoin halving. That's coming up in April. Been some speculation as well. Could spot Ethereum ETF be on the way?
One other interesting report that caught my eye today that has to do with crypto. Some new numbers from the FBI on the number of crypto scams that hit in the U.S. last year. Losses from those scams related to crypto totaled almost $4 billion, $3.94 billion last year.
Real quick, while they're talking about scams, okay? On YouTube, literally every single morning, I'm searching for news to kind of see what like's new in the space, just because I'm trying not to live on YouTube 24/7. I'm searching Bitcoin news, and there's always a YouTube channel that's been hacked by scammers that do that AI Michael Saylor bullshit. Got the QR code up. We're doing this promotion. We're going to double your Ethereum or your Bitcoin, whatever you guys send to us, blah, 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 with under 3 minutes. And it says, like, you have to be a subscriber of this channel for fucking 50 years before you can comment or some bullshit. You can't talk in the live chat. Like, please, it's a scam. Don't fall for it. Report that video. I report them every single time. But just please, for the love of God, do not scan that QR code, because you will be screwed. I do know personally somebody that lost literally $250,000 to a crypto scam, and it's so sad. It sucks because they were very close to me, and it's like, why didn't you just ask me before you did this? It's unfortunate.
Year, which was an increase of 53% from 2022. Now, apropos of nothing, I guess, but it's just interesting that crypto, which has this reputation as being susceptible to this kind of things, and there are some hard numbers too.
Maybe
that's really screwed up. Actually, Yusuf says YouTube keeps them up on purpose. I hope not. Man.
Perhaps dovetailing what Piper's Rob Owens told us this week when he talked about how the health of cybersecurity software, demand and health for that, he was saying maybe the healthiest he's seen in 2 decades.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
It's terrible. It's sad and unfortunate people get scammed like that. But anyways, all right, Kathy Wood, we're not in a bubble. She wants, actually, no, hold on, I don't want to do that one. Do I? Let's get into this one first. Let's do Bitcoin hits new all-time high as crypto fans descend on Austin for SXSW, whatever the hell that is. All right, let's get into this.
So how much higher can Bitcoin and these altcoins really go? Joining us now live from the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas, is Mackenzie Sigalos. Austin, obviously home to many Bitcoin developers and miners and owners. Mac, thanks for joining us. I know you just got there. The thing is kicking off, but you have had a chance to talk to some people who are going to be giving keynotes. I got to imagine this is a big story at South by.
Before she starts talking about those crypto scams, I think the FBI only gives a shit if it's over like 150 or 200K. Like that's the only reason. That's the only way you're really going to hear back from them, unfortunately.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, Brian. I touched down in Austin this morning, and I frankly can't think of a better place to be during such a blockbuster moment for Bitcoin. You've got 30% of the world's Bitcoin literally made here, printed out of thin air. You've got the leading coders who come to Texas because of favorable policies. Texas state capitol is over my right shoulder, and they're clearly doing something right to attract this caliber and volume of talent. But to your point, I've been talking to people on the ground here, and what they're really all coming back to is the record flows of institutional money into the ecosystem thanks to these new spot ETFs. Today's big jump up in price, you saw that happen right around the time that U.S. stocks began trading, which goes to this larger narrative, Brian, that spot Bitcoin ETFs have been a major driver of this rally. Collectively, less than 2 months, these U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs have brought in more than $56 billion.
Let's get that graphic off the screen because I want to show what's behind. Get me off the screen, okay? I want to show what's behind Mac. Okay, Mac, look over your left shoulder. Look over your right shoulder. There's a new building being built. There's construction everywhere. Bitcoin is at 70.
He was right the first time. That would have been her left shoulder.
Austin's booming. I got them. Are people taking like champagne baths there in Austin because there's just everybody's printing money?
Absolutely. Like the sentiment is so positive. Everything's bigger in Texas, like your Bitcoin price targets, your Bitcoin bulls. And so all the events kick off tonight. South by Southwest has dedicated programming to crypto. Also, AI is another big focus here. But so much of the narrative is really coming back to some of these market moving events, something called the halving, for example. It's really big to the Bitcoin mining ecosystem, which is the epicenter of that is really here in Texas. You've got so many Bitcoin miners. And so they're all talking about that. It's going to be a game changer for the price.
And it is the capital of energy, right? They're there because people don't realize this. Texas is the leading producer of renewable energy in the United States.
Yes, exactly. And so you've got all of this untapped renewable energy, and Bitcoin miners are very mobile. So they can go out to remote parts of Texas where you've got a lot of wind and solar power, but it's not connected to a grid, latched onto that and mine Bitcoin. So it's been a really interesting dynamic, both in terms of helping to balance the grid and also create this financial incentive to build out infrastructure to harness renewable energy that was previously untapped.
That's crazy. I didn't know it was the biggest state for renewable energy. That's kind of neat. You guys know that in the chat? Let's see. DJ said, fun fact, the crypto stolen from me is now worth over $60,000.
Bruh.
That's terrible. Don't do that to yourself though. Trust me, don't. You're gonna drive yourself nuts. Don't even try to forget about it in general, because you're gonna want to cry every time when that thing's over 100K. You're gonna be all upset. That just sucks. All right, Kathy Wood, we're not in a bubble. Let's see what she's got to say over here on Bloomberg Television. Let's do it.
There are many who talk about a bubble, some liken it back to 99, 2000. Anything in today's equity trade that says bubble to you?
We do not believe we are in a bubble anything like we were in the late 90s. I was there, and the technologies weren't ready. The costs were too high, too much capital, chased too few opportunities too soon. The seeds for what is happening now were planted during the 20 years that ended in the tech and telecom bubble, and they've been germinating for 25 or 30 years. So we believe we're ready for prime time. The one place where we could see a correction, and it's just a correction, we're not calling it the end of this at all, is in the chip space. Whenever I hear the word shortage, and we started hearing about GPU shortages about this time last year, as ChatGPT was capturing the imagination of both businesses and consumers. So for about a year, we've heard that word, and now we're seeing lead times, we believe, come down for GPUs, for NVIDIA in particular, from the 8 to 11 month range to the 3 to 4 month range. So that is suggesting that there was probably a lot of double and triple ordering as the word shortage was making the rounds, and that those inventories will have to be digested.
But is that also because of an increase in supply in terms of output, or is it because you think demand is going down? Which one is it?
Oh, I don't think, no. Demand is not going down, though there is something we expect that I don't hear discussed very much. And it harkens back to the early days of the internet. There was a moment when the internet was taking off, when Cisco was all the rage, and then enterprises started thinking seriously about the need to spend aggressively on this new thing called the internet and the backbone. And they paused as a lot of competition started to make the rounds. And Cisco went down 50% plus as enterprises were pausing. Now, why are enterprises likely to pause, or at least go through an assessment? They have to integrate all of their data first. Proprietary data is the secret to AI's success. And they have to map out in excruciating detail their workflows internally and with suppliers and customers and so forth. And this is going to take time. So we think this movement is real. It's going to be massive. But we think there's been a little bit too much.
Mr. Travelers Travels, member for 15 months, my man. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. Crypto to the moon. Absolutely.
Too soon.
Oh, I paused it right at the end. Yeah, this is so the crypto bubble is just gonna be like the internet, right? That's kind of where we're at, right? When the internet started and all this money came into it, that's where crypto's going, man. That's what I think. Anyways, Bitcoin ETFs brought a tsunami of interest into crypto, says Dana, whatever. Yeah, InvestNets. Is that what that is? InvestNets? Dana. I'm not even gonna try to say the last name. Anyways, let's see what she says over here. Let's do it.
With our panel, joining us now is Dana Diario of
Diario.
InvestNet and Tracy McMillian of Wells Fargo. Happy Friday to both of you. Dana, so we got another round of inflation data coming next week after what was a pretty tame jobs report, I guess. Small caps have been pretty sensitive to the higher for longer narrative. Do you see anything changing?
Well, I think it really is going to turn on whether we see this rate cut obviously coming in June. So small caps, as we all know, are more interest rate sensitive. It's interesting because growth is more interest rate sensitive, right? And growth hasn't suffered at all, obviously, in this rally, even though it's longer dated cash flows that have to be discounted back at a higher rate. But we have seen small caps suffer and certainly be very interest rate sensitive through the course of this rally and all through last year, and largely because they're not as easily self-funding, right? They need to go to capital markets more often. You have corporate teams that are now all of a sudden facing much higher rates than they had to in the past. So not surprising at all. I think the big question is, do we get this cut in June? And, you know, do we indeed stick the landing? I think, you know, all signs seem to point there, but I don't know that I think it's guaranteed.
Okay.
Well, I mean, in the whole conversation with the internet bubble thing, right? Microsoft, Amazon, eBay, Qualcomm, whatever that is, and Cisco, right? They're the biggest. So apparently those are the biggest internet stocks that exploded and survived the, you know, internet boom. And I mean, it's no different than looking at like Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these big cryptos that are in the top 10 right now. Like, how many of those are going to survive? It could be quadruple the amount of coins, right? We don't know. We don't know how crazy it's going to get, but the end of the day, things are going to ride up, and yeah, there's going to be projects that fail, but that doesn't mean there isn't going to be ones that last. You know what I mean?
And Tracy, you say go to quality, don't take on too much risk, don't jump into small caps yet. But if the economy is generally healthy, which the data today would suggest, isn't this a time when the right small caps with the right stories could actually outperform?
Real quick, Panera Card said 90% of people in here are planning to dump. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to take, so it's not that we're just planning to dump, but you guys got to take, you know, you got to have a purpose. Like, why are you into this, right? You're not into this just to keep your money sitting on the sidelines and die and leave it there, right? I mean, unless that's your goal, then whatever. But I have a goal to freaking be financially free. When I get to that point of paying off my house, guess what? I'm selling this shit. I don't care where it is. Doesn't matter to me. And then I'll buy back in later. Like, it's a, you know what I mean? Simple as that. Just take the gains of where you can get them, put it towards something good in your life, and you know, hopefully you met your goal. It's pretty much what you got to do.
Yeah, so we've been favorable large caps for quite some time, and we're actually looking for an opportunity to move into small caps, to move into some of those riskier areas of the market. You know, it seemed like maybe late last year might have been offering up some of that that opportunity, and you know, more lately we've also seen small caps just starting to outperform large caps. But
real quick, so like that's one of those things like where, you know, like I said, you have to have a goal. You guys should be right now, what you all should be doing right before Bitcoin goes any higher or your portfolio goes any higher, you guys should sit down with yourself or your significant other or whoever you give a shit about and just write your goals down, man. Get the number of or the amount of money that you need to like be where you want to be, and that's your hard sell point, and you need to like make sure you stick to it. I know it's hard, it's easier said than done, but you guys gotta like try. You know what I mean? You gotta try to stick to that number. Fully Electric said 100% swap into stable coins and buy back in low, and you can do that. Yeah, absolutely. It's just stable coins to a point. Like, you gotta, you know, who knows what's going to happen with those. I hope they last forever, but who knows? I don't know. We've just seen so much bullshit lately with banks and institutions and all this stuff. Like, I don't know, all these, the government is just trying to control everything. So I don't know what's going to happen with stable coins. I hope it works out fine and they stay where they're at, but who knows? Just get a goal and stick to it. That's the biggest like piece of advice I can give you.
What we want to see is more evidence that we are closer to the start of a cycle and not the end of a cycle. Because, and
that was a perfect point you just made. We're closer to a start of a cycle than the end of a cycle. So we still have a lot more to go.
Small caps do tend to outperform at the start of a cycle. So,
and even though they're talking about stocks right here, that goes for everything, crypto included.
You know, we want to see things like growth continuing to expand, breadth continuing to expand, interest rates moving lower from here. And if any of those three fail, then we're probably not going to see a continuation of the outperformance of smalls just yet.
Okay. Dana, it's not. I realize stocks took a breather today. Most of the major averages are lower on the week now. But in general, we've been at such a torrid pace for the S&P, hitting record high after record high. It's not the only asset class, though, that's been doing that. We've also seen record highs in gold and this week, record highs in Bitcoin. What does it say about diversification, and what does it say about whether you should be putting something like Bitcoin in your portfolio?
It's an odd barbell market, right? I think, it's very interesting what you're raising. And, coming from investing at a platform with a lot of retail investors, obviously, I have to point to the advent of ETFs. I mean, the decision by the SEC to enable spot Bitcoin ETFs is just going to be huge. And you're going to continue to see a tsunami of interest because now you have a liquid, easily available way to earn a Bitcoin return, and it's backed by major asset managers. So folks who weren't ready to dabble in the actual currency are now going to say, okay, here's my opportunity to get a little piece of this. And it has a lotto ticket-like aspect to it, right? So there's great research out there talking about the fact that even normal risk aversion in investors allows for some position in the portfolio in Bitcoin simply because it can only go to zero. And the skew on it is so high that, it has this opportunity to pay off dramatically. So I expect to see that continue for sure.
I didn't realize that was the end of the video. I want to ask, does anybody here not hold your own crypto? Is anybody in the chat? I mean, you know what? I'll put a poll up because I don't want you guys to have to answer that. But like anybody that like keeps your shit on an exchange, I think it's a conversation we need to have probably towards the end of the video. We're gonna go for like another half hour and then we're gonna raid Crypto Mikkel. But let's talk about Coinbase and all the shadiness that's been going on in a little bit. I think I'm gonna make a video about this actually in a little while too. Fun Strats, Tom Lee sees opportunities in small caps this year. Let's see what he's got to say. He's a savage when it comes to the stock market. So let's see what he says.
Today's intraday action may be a little bit disconcerting for some. Is the leadership still intact though for the markets overall?
Dom, I think it's a good question because the market is extended and it is a mature rally. We're going to be entering our 20th week next week, but I think we should be giving the stock market the benefit of the doubt. So today, stocks are wobbling. Not a surprise that there is some profit taking. We did actually have a good jobs number, so I'm probably saying one eyebrow is raised because we're selling off on good news. But with margin debt where it is, and I think the earnings backdrop being so strong and the Fed confirming that they're leaning towards cuts this year, I think the backdrop, as you noted earlier, is still very good for equities.
What exactly is going to drive that? We've talked about this idea. It could be underlying earnings growth. It might be the idea of people paying more for that dollar of earnings expected, multiple expansions, so to speak. What's the big tailwind that you see coming up for the markets overall?
It's really all three. I think there is upside to earnings. Earnings beat by 7% in the first quarter, so you're already one quarter in. If consensus is 245, well, that means there could be $10, $15 of upside for just this year on earnings alone. On risk premia, which is what you should put as a PE multiple, well, if the Fed starts cutting and the economy's resilient, the PE is only 15 times ex-FANG. And the third is really flows. There's still $6 trillion of cash on the sidelines. Margin debt is barely budged. It's below where it was in October 2023, which was just a few months ago.
Is this guy an alien? Says Shark Farmer. It's funny. He does kind of give you that I guess look from like Men in Black. You ever see those like like the face just comes off and there's like an alien sitting in there with little controls. He is like he's like what he's just one of those super smart people. It's kind of like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Like they're just beyond the level of smartness that like most of us will ever have. You know what I mean?
So I don't think investors are necessarily that risk on. I mean, I know the market is technically overbought, but Mark Newton, our head of technical strategy, says you don't really want to be, using an overbought as actually a sell signal because strong markets stay strong.
Tom, you mentioned the idea that leverage isn't what it used to be at points in the past. Does that take a massive market decline off the table? And if we did get a decline, how big in your mind could it be?
For now, I think it does mitigate downside because when leverage is low, like margin debt at the NYSE, it means investors aren't long, yet the backdrop is improving, so that means they have to use these pullbacks as chances to get long. But at the same time, we expect an air pocket in the first half, something like 7% or more. It's just that there's so many top callers now that I think that's why there's still gas in the tank on this rally.
All right, and last question. We have a few moments. The favorite part of the market for you, given the current valuation?
Well, there's what I think are 5 things that are working this year. I don't want to talk about all 5, but to me, we know that technology and FANG, including NVIDIA, are working because of AI. And I think that's also pulling up, the miners and Bitcoin because they are kind of correlated trades. The second thing that seems to be working are things that are related around Ozempic and reducing weight loss because of the productivity benefit to workers. But to me, the third, maybe most interesting, is small caps. We think there's 50% upside this year. They're trading at 44% of the price to book of large caps. So I do think that's really one of the sleeper stories this year.
Shout out to Tom Lee for being a savage. All right, let's get into this. Robinhood CEO talks stocks, Bitcoin euphoria in credit card market. Interested to see what they got to say over here in Yahoo Finance. Let's get into it.
Bitcoin and stock bulls are charging. A new frenzy surrounding the world's largest cryptocurrency is pushing the price of Bitcoin to all-time highs. This is all things AI have powered stocks such as NVIDIA and Microsoft to new heights. So are major investing exchanges cashing in on all this excitement? Vlad Tenev, Robinhood co-founder and CEO, joins me now. Vlad, always nice to get some time with you. I know you do a lot of these interviews, especially a couple weeks after earnings, but I'm like, I have to connect with Vlad because your stock is rallying, the broader market is rallying. On your platform, what have these record-setting markets done to that platform, and what are you seeing among people?
Typically, when the crypto markets see a lot of excitement, we benefit from that. We're one of the largest crypto platforms in the U.S. We've been growing market share, and that's continued through 2023. I think last time I was on your show, we were talking a little bit about that. But it's definitely not just crypto. We've seen increased levels of activity with the markets across all of our assets and products. So people have been entering the equity markets. Options trading has been up through 2023 as well. Equities market share went up about 14%. Options market share at Robinhood was closer to 20 at about 19%.
Does anybody here use Robinhood? I mean, it's super easy to use, but probably not the best. Well, I guess you could take a crypto off it now, so it's okay, right? I don't know. Does anybody like it? Let me know in the chat.
So as we've been improving our products, we stand to benefit when there's heightened market interest.
Have you seen the rally, AI stocks, crypto, whatever it is? Is this pulling in the next generation of investors?
I think you're seeing a couple of things. Certainly, there's heightened retail interest, and you're seeing investment apps getting more downloads. You can look at kind of the public app store rankings, and there has been a resurgence in interest in investing. Certainly, we've benefited from that. But what's really interesting is it's not just the markets, and it's not just individual AI stocks and crypto. You look at our retirement business, more and more people are interested in retirement as well. So we announced that we had 1.7 billion in assets under custody in retirement accounts at the end of last year. And recently, our CFO was at a conference. He said that number had close to doubled at over 3 billion just in a couple of months. So there's general interest in long-term investing as well, and we're excited to be serving that market.
Guy owns Robinhood, and he can't afford like a camera that's on its own stand, not like bouncing all over the place. Real quick, Green Hash said, I used it until the GME halt. That was the GameStop halt, right? But in all fairness, that wasn't, I don't think that was just Robinhood, right? If the market moves, what, 7, 13, or 20%, they shut it off for X amount of hours or the entire day, depending on how high it is. I think 20% is the entire day they stop it. And then DJ said he uses it to use it for options in stocks. Also use it daily for charts. Nice. Okay, makes sense.
Are investors still looking at Robinhood as a trading platform? Because I've been following a lot of the work that you and your team have done really over the past 12 months, a lot more innovation, 24-hour.
I already asked that. Isn't it a trading platform? Isn't that what it's for? No?
Trading, a push into retirement products. Do you ultimately want to be that one-stop destination for, that maybe perhaps replaces going down to your local bank branch and using it for whatever you want to use it for?
There's three things that we're focused on right now. Number one, we want to be number one in the active trader market. So active traders.
This fucking camera is awful. It's shaking like crazy.
Are very important for us. They care about very specific things like performance, pricing, user experience, and we're making lots of investments there, both in the user experience and in new product innovations that other competitors don't offer. 24-hour market being a great example there. But we don't want to just serve active traders. And so we want to grow wallet share with our customers. We want to help them build wealth. And that's the second priority. And that's where Robinhood Gold and our high yield products come in. That's where retirement comes in. And of course, the credit card, where we're entering a new product category that's very important to customers. Then the third area of focus is expanding internationally. I think the last time I was at your show, we had just announced the UK launch, and we had also launched in the EU. And we see a huge opportunity there, hundreds of millions of consumers that are underserved. And that's sort of our beachhead to the rest of the world.
How does he not know his camera's like that? I mean, it's obviously his laptop and he's just hitting the table, but damn.
What is the size of that credit card business? How big could that be 12 months after launch? And where exactly are you with that product?
One of the reasons we're so interested in the credit card market is it's so big, right? Over 80% of US adults have a credit card, at least one. There's hundreds of millions of credit cards in circulation in the US alone. And if you look at the credit card market in general, we see three things. Number one, it's large. Number two, the incumbents are enjoying very large margins. So the profit pools in that business are very large. And the third is it hasn't really been digitized yet. So the experience of a credit card, I mean, sans Apple Pay, is pretty much the same as it was 20 years ago. And when we see those three things, we see a great opportunity for us to enter the market and disrupt. So it's getting close. The team's been working hard. I've seen the designs, and we'll be looking forward to unveiling it shortly.
Vlad, just before you came on, we had the opportunity to talk to SEC Chair Gary Gensler, and towards the end of the conversation, they were talking a lot about crypto and the moves in crypto. The chair noting that the sector is rife with abuses and frauds, and at some point, maybe the investment public is putting their own investments at risk. I mean, bigger picture, what do you think about this move in crypto, and do you think investors truly understand what they're getting in the crypto space right now?
I think if I had to look at this,
that was a loaded question. There's no way everybody knows what they're getting into. There's a lot of FOMO.
Move.
Right.
It's we see a supply and demand imbalance starting with Bitcoin, right? So all of these new ETFs came into the market. They've been gathering assets. We're now able to more easily plug institutional interest, of which there's a lot in crypto, and they've been generating more demand. You also have the Bitcoin halving, where there's less supply coming in, and I think the market anticipates that. I do think the crypto space is quite broad. It refers to a lot of things now, including just coins that a couple of software engineers overseas can launch on an exchange. And I think with that level of decentralization and sort of access are risks. But then you look on the other side of the spectrum, and there's significant institutional interest in adding Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies into customers' portfolios. More and more large institutions and endowments are starting to look at it.
Real quick, Mr. DJ Death Star, my man, appreciate you.
Perfect.
Thanks for the dono. He says, thanks for your dedication to the grind. We appreciate your hard work and keeping us in the know. Also, thank you for responding to me on Discord. Dude, no problem. Just reach out if you guys ever have questions. That goes for anybody. I answer almost everybody. Well, I do answer everybody on Discord, unless you like, just sending me a link. Obviously, I'm not going to talk to you.
Governments you've seen start to look at it too, like El Salvador, for instance, but I think we anticipate that might not be the end of that.
Thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
And so I think that's very
Means
much entered the mainstream as an asset that customers need and look to add in their portfolfolios.
All right, and then I don't talk to Steven Cicero either. I don't answer him.
You've been leading this company really through a series of big moments for investors. Of course, a couple of years ago at the meme stock frenzy, but right now markets at all-time highs, crypto all-time highs. What lessons are you putting to play today, leadership, operationally, whatever it might be? Things that you learned a couple of years ago, what are you putting into play now?
Crypto KJ, how do I stop you from messaging me? Damn.
Bruh.
All right. Fine.
Yeah, I mean,
fair enough.
A couple of years ago felt like a different world. It felt like we didn't really have to operate particularly well as a company to do well. In COVID times, the tide sort of lifted all boats. Now, starting in 2022 with the increase in interest rates, it sort of washed out a lot of the excess in the markets, and we've had to operate differently. So just emphasizing efficiency, performance, focusing on the things that are incredibly important, making sure that the team is aligned and we've got the top talent. I think these are all things that the management team and myself have learned over the past couple of years. And now when we see a little bit of a recovery and, if interest rates then start dropping, as many are predicting, we should see that turn into a tailwind for the business in a big way.
Absolutely. All right. Shout out to this guy for talking about Robinhood and the whole sentiment in the market. Let me see. Is there any, actually, the Bot Life Gamer said, I'm tired of Chuck making different accounts trying to add me. Please, guys, know that I'm not just hitting you up and sending you friend requests on Discord. I hope you guys understand that it's not me and it's a scammer. I even bought the stupid thing that goes over my image on Discord, hoping that scammers wouldn't pay the $5 to scam you guys, and they still do. So it never ends, unfortunately. All right, Bitcoin briefly rises above $70,000 to another new all-time high. CNBC Crypto World. Let's get into it.
Today, Bitcoin inches above $70,000 for the very first time. The SEC delays a decision on options trading for spot Bitcoin ETFs. And Bobby Zagata of Bitstamp USA reacts to the crypto market's 2024 rally.
Nice. Mr. Little Time Mining, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. BTC all-time high. Nervos Network making moves. CKB is on fire. Bunch of rocket emojis. Appreciate you. Thank you for that, buddy. Means a lot.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Bitcoin hitting another record high today as we head into the weekend. Around 10:30 this morning, the cryptocurrency crossed above $70,000 for the first time.
Crazy.
But by noon Eastern, it had come back down to just below $68,000.
Let's see where we're sitting right now, actually. Where are we at? Right this second, 68,637. Could be worse, not too bad.
Ether, meanwhile, crossing the $3,900 mark this morning, while Solana got a boost to $148. We're capping off a huge week for crypto, headlined by Bitcoin's first new all-time high in 2 years. It's up more than 8% in the past 7 days, too. Ethereum still outperforming Bitcoin year to date, and that's also true for the past week. It's up 13% since last Friday. The early advance in Bitcoin may have been driven in part by the latest jobs numbers out today, which showed the unemployment rate ticking up to 3.9%, while employment growth from the past 2 months were revised down. That economic data could keep the Fed on track to cut interest rates later this year.
Little Time Mining. Again, thank you so much for the super chat. This thing makes me laugh every single time. Bitcoin, keep pumping. Love it. Appreciate you, buddy.
Which would benefit the crypto market. However, it could also be attributed to the return of volatility. The Bitcoin Historical Volatility Index is sitting near its highest level in almost a year. And I also want to mention some good news over on Wall Street, specifically for Coinbase. That company stock getting an upgrade at Goldman Sachs from sell to neutral, thanks to soaring trading volume on the platform. Coinbase shares were boosted 5% intraday following that upgrade. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. U.S. prosecutors reportedly plan to fight Do Kwon's extradition to South Korea. The Department of Justice told Bloomberg on Thursday that, quote, the United States continues to seek Kwon's extradition in accordance with relevant international and bilateral agreements and Montenegrin law. The DOJ's comments to Bloomberg come after a high court in the country approved his extradition to his home country earlier this week. Both South Korea and the U.S. have been seeking his extradition. Do Kwon's lawyers have fought his transfer here to the States, where he faces civil and criminal charges tied to the collapse of Terraform Labs. Next, the SEC just delayed a decision on bringing Bitcoin ETF options to U.S. markets. The agency pushed back its deadline to give a final answer on a SIBO proposal, which would bring options trading tied to spot Bitcoin ETF.
Can somebody explain this to me? What's the difference between options trading and just a normal ETF? I don't know the difference, to be honest. I don't dabble in options trading, but DJ, if you could like explain the difference in like a brief sentence, let me know.
Recently listed on that exchange. The SEC also pushed back a decision on options for the NASDAQ-listed iShares Bitcoin ETF. Options are contracts that investors use to buy and sell assets.
Never mind. They're explaining it right here.
At an agreed-upon price and time in the future. Options have an expiration date where the investor has to decide whether to move forward with the transaction, but they aren't required to buy or sell. SIBO told CNBC back in January that it believes options would bring more crypto-curious investors into the ecosystem and help them mitigate risk.
Neat.
All right, back to markets for our main story. With Bitcoin capturing new all-time highs this week, Crypto World's Jordan Smith spoke with Bobby Zagata, the CEO of Bitstamp USA, for his reaction to the recent rally and his outlook for crypto investors going forward.
Tech Man Ty, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, happy Saturday, chump, paying YouTube to hear DJ scream like a monkey.
All right, Bobby, yet another all-time high for Bitcoin today, crossing $70,000 for the very first time. What's your reaction to this week, these new all-time highs that we've been seeing, and just how quickly Bitcoin climbed this year after last year's lows? Talk about your reaction to all of this.
Well, I'm thrilled. Obviously, so many of us have been living in a very different environment for the last 18 or so months. And I think this is validating for a number of reasons. We've put some of the negative events of the past, some of the bad players in the space have gone by the wayside. And with the ETF approval, of course, there's real credibility for what's going on, and we're seeing that play out. I think it was going to take some time for the inflows for the ETF products to matriculate into the system and into people's psyches, and that's what's happening now, which is extremely exciting.
Yeah, a lot's been said about the ETFs and their role in this rally. Lots has been said about the halving coming up for Bitcoin and what that means for price.
The halving's coming up. Halving's coming up. DJ's going crazy. Thank you so much again, Tech Man Ty and DJ Death Star and everybody else. You guys are awesome. Appreciate the support.
Are those the big factors here? Is there nothing but good news to look forward to for Bitcoin this year? What are you watching out for, and what's driving this rally?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of other factors. As has been reported, there's also some optimism in the tech space in general, and that usually correlates or usually supports, I think, positive price movement in the crypto markets. We are tech companies, full stop. And so that's an important factor to consider. The macro environment is always a factor as well. But I think the primary ones are awareness and optimism driven by ETF approval, price action, and this halving event does create more and more awareness, and it reminds people about the scarcity model built into the Bitcoin protocol, and that creates interest and participation. Bitstamp, we're trying to be as welcoming as we can be for OG participants as well as new market participants who are just trying to get their feet wet.
Yeah, you mentioned the correlation between tech stocks and the crypto market. And I feel like maybe a year ago or so, everybody was talking about waiting for this decoupling between, the tech stocks, the NASDAQ and crypto. Do you see that correlation coming more into focus as we're seeing this rally? Do you see a situation where we move away from this correlation? What is the relation between crypto and tech right now as a trend?
Yeah, it's a great question, and certainly kind of early indicators right now shows this correlation or at least supports that idea. But it is difficult when you look further out and you think about all of the dynamics around particularly the large tech companies, that they could pull apart again or the correlation could falter. So it's difficult. But I think the bedrock concept here is innovative technologies. People recognize the importance of them in the world. With blockchain, I don't think there's any debate anymore about the importance of it and the role that it could play in financial services, but even more broadly in kind of how we operate as a society.
Earlier this week, we were talking to experts who were warning that Bitcoin could see a bit of a pullback after this strong week we've had. Some are even saying as low as the $42,000 range. Is that something you're watching out for? Do you expect a pullback to be that extreme? I mean, that's a 40% pullback. What are your expectations there?
Yeah, I try never to predict what's going to happen, but I certainly would not be surprised if there was a little bit of a pullback before the halving, right? So I think there's some optimism built in already. And I think that's going to have to play out over a few weeks. And so I expect some price movement. I don't expect a 40% decline. But again, I'm really not qualified to give investment advice.
Yeah. Can I also ask about altcoins and maybe particular Ethereum? It's been a strong performer this year. You have the Dencun upgrade happening next week. You talked a little bit about the optimism for Bitcoin. What about the optimism for Ethereum this year? What are the things that are driving excitement there?
I really hope these fees change with this Dencun upgrade or whatever the hell it's called, because man, it's awful. Like I was gonna swap out a Pepe last night, but it was like $20 to swap. I'm like, you know what? I'll give it another week and I'll see what happens after this upgrade. Watch it go up. Watch the fees get worse.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I'm personally really excited to see the resilience of Ethereum through all of this Bitcoin ETF-driven cycle. It's not like it's fallen by the wayside by any stretch, and I believe there's the possibility out there of ETH, ETFs. And then that could perhaps really support that asset in a new way or at a new level. And there's others as well. Solana has really done well on Bitstamp. It's doubled its share, if you will, of volume on Bitstamp versus others. And so yeah, I'm very bullish on obviously Bitcoin, but the non-Bitcoin majors are also getting some recognition and resilience, I think, in the face of all this Bitcoin news.
You led me right into asking about Bitstamp in particular, and how is this rally translating to your business? What are you seeing on your platform as crypto interest seems to be picking up again as we've seen this momentum in the market?
Sure. As an exchange, we reflect the market to a pretty great degree. And so we're seeing, increases across all the metrics that we care about. So our volume is up dramatically on the retail side, almost 3x what it was a year ago. On the institutional side, about 2x, and also onboards is increasing, in kind of a double-digit percentage way on both the institutional side and the retail side, and so that's super positive. And I think Bitstamp is becoming a bit more of an obvious choice than it was in the last rally when people were distracted perhaps by FTX and other players in the market who didn't have the compliance and regulatory kind of commitment and track record that Bitstamp has. So particularly with newer market entrants, both institutions and retail players, they care more, I think, in this next wave of adoption about who they're partnered with, and they want to make sure that they're partnered with the folks that they don't have to worry about. They want the interest and the drama to come from the prices, not from their exchange partner.
All right. Shout out to Cripple the World, CNBC for that. All right, so let's talk real quick just before we get into anything else, any of these videos. All right, so what I kind of want to go over here, right? I put a poll in the chat. Obviously, I asked you guys, do you have control of your own crypto? Like, do you have a hardware wallet? 32% of you guys said no, which is quite interesting. That's a higher number than I thought it was going to be. So, for one, why, right? Why are you not holding your own crypto? Especially when you can... I mean, you can get apps on your phone, right? Like you can get Trust Wallet, but like that's a hot wallet, right? You can get, I wouldn't trust Exodus, but you can get Exodus. I used to use them, but I don't anymore after all the mishaps they've had. There's a lot of wallets like that have been like hacked, or funds have been stolen, or you get SIM swapped, people can steal your shit. I'd be nervous about those wallets, so I get that. But if you guys are seriously not trying to shill this, if you guys are looking for a cheap wallet, I pinned Tangem up at the top. It's like $50, right, for a 2-card setup, and they actually have a swapping feature inside of Tangem that I didn't even know until I updated the app. Mr. Luke, my man, appreciate you for the $19.99 super chat real quick. He said, current thoughts on Casper regarding the chart. I'm sure you saw Da Vinci Jeremy's Twitter post knocking it, saying it does not solve the trilemma, clearly inaccurate. Do you think he's buying or uneducated? To be honest, I think he's a billionaire and he doesn't need it. That's just my opinion. I think he's just a billionaire and people are just fudding some bullshit to him. He has too much money. He doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean? If he's hearing a bunch of sentiment in the market that's just like hearsay bullshit, he's not going to care. He doesn't need your money. He's got plenty of money. You know what I mean? He went all in on Bitcoin a long time ago. But anyways, all right. So getting back to my topic. Sorry. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate that. We can talk about it at the end though. So the wallet thing, right? If you're leaving it on Coinbase or an exchange just to be able to swap it easy, don't do that. Like, please don't do that. If you guys are holding like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you guys want something that you can, like the wallet, Tangem, the reason me bringing it up was the swapping feature inside it. I updated my app and I was able to just swap. I think it was Changely, is that the site they use? But it's integrated inside the app. So I can literally convert my Bitcoin to USDT or USDC or whatever I want inside that wallet in like split second, like fast as shit, right? Obviously it's got to go there, it's got to swap and come back. Bitcoin will probably take like an hour, but Caspa was like a minute. It literally was out of my wallet from USDT into Caspa. I'll do a video on it and I'll show you guys the recording. I actually screen recorded it until it came back to my wallet. It was like a minute. It was crazy how fast it was. So I couldn't believe, like I was thinking to myself, like, why would I keep money on Coinbase when they're being sketchy? Because Coinbase has been sketchy as shit lately. The last 3 times we've had a run up, Coinbase has frozen our accounts. Now I don't know if it's just frozen like everybody's accounts, like the site just kind of crashes and they can't handle the volume or some shit. I think that's bullshit, to be honest. Not trying to throw shade at Coinbase. I don't mind them. I think they're great, right? I think their stock's going to go up. I think they're doing good things for the space as a whole. But I think they're being sketchy. I think they're satisfying the ETF buyers versus their actual consumers on their platform. That's just my opinion, right? I don't know how true it is. Something's going on though. It just doesn't make sense for them to just stop everybody's trading 3 times. Like, you haven't figured this out after the first time or the second time. Now it's the 3rd time. Like, hell no. If it happens again, I know something sketchy is going on. There's no freaking chance. It should happen a 4th time. So I don't know. No promises. Changely will stay up during crazy times. Yeah, dude, I don't know. But you know what, Scott? It's just the fact that you can swap inside the wallet super easy instead of having to send it to an exchange to swap it. That's just my thing, just going right into a stable coin. And then obviously the stable coins going into the exchange is super fast. You don't have to wait, like worry about Bitcoin getting there within an hour and then selling it. You know what I mean? You can just do it right off the bat. So I've been personally thinking about taking my stuff off a Ledger and just putting it all into Tangem. But at the same time, I recommend having 2 wallets. It's good to have a savings account and it's good to have a checking account. You know what I mean? So like my Tangem will be like my checking account wallet, and my savings would be my Ledger that's in the safe, not plugged in, just completely cold storage. You know what I mean? So just, I don't know. There's 2 different sides to this. Ledger, kind of the sharding thing really threw me off, so I haven't plugged it in since that whole incident with Ledger. If you guys don't know what that is, they can basically, with an update and you accept it on their platform, they can more or less shard your seed phrase, where they will give it to 3 different companies, and if you lose it, you could get it back somehow, like, and you pay $10 a month for it. I don't know. It's so sketchy to me. I just don't like the fact that they can even get your seed phrase in the first place. So that's just me personally. So Tangem is, in my opinion, the easiest way. Super user friendly, super easy to just understand and use, and swapping coins is just like a huge thing for me. So anyways, all right, let's get into this over here. We are going to start with Mr. Lark Davis, and then we'll watch Altcoin Daily together. Mr. Crypto McKell is not going live for a half hour, so I think we got a little bit more time. So let's get into it, guys. That like button. Appreciate you all for hanging out. And Luke, thank you again for the super chat, buddy.
Is this time different for Bitcoin? Will Bitcoin top earlier than expected? Well, in light of the abnormal BTC price behavior in the recent weeks, some onlookers, some analysts believe that in this cycle, the Bitcoin bull market top could come a lot earlier than usual, earlier than late 25, maybe even late 24. Does this mean our selling plans are going to go out the window? Well, let's get to grips with the exciting new situation and investigate this theory, and also look at a promising indicator that could give us a clue on when to sell. It does have very high historical accuracy, by the way. So let's get it. Previous Bitcoin.
Real quick, when alts decide to follow BTC with a sad face, BG, are you asking when should they? So typically it's usually Bitcoin, and then the alts. Don't the alts usually follow after Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken, right? Bitcoin will start taking the pullback, and then alt season happens, if I'm not mistaken. Real quick, also, Fully Electric said, I have 4 different Tangem wallets, 1 for mining, 1 for trading, buying and selling, and 1 for long-term savings, and 1 for playing. Dude, that's awesome. Actually, let me ask you a question, Fully Electric, because I was wondering this myself. Can you scan multiple cards on one phone? Or do you have separate phones for each one? I was wondering that, actually, because I got to set up 2 other wallets for my kids, and I'm going to start putting a little bit of crypto in them. You can use the same phone. All right, that's what I thought. I didn't know why you wouldn't be able to, but yeah, that's kind of cool. 4 different Tangems. Damn, but they're cheap, dudes, right? You're paying over $100 for a freaking ledger, $200 for an LEPAL, right? You guys can, I have a coupon code for LEPAL too if you guys are interested. I don't make anything off it, but feel free to use it. It's 10% off. Why not? But Tangem's like $50. It's $50, dude. Be smart. Just hold your shit. Like, don't keep stuff on an exchange, please.
Coin cycles have run almost like clockwork so far. Looking at how much time it takes to break the previous all-time high, we see 25 and 23 months respectively. But this time, it appears that the cycle is acting differently. And I'll come back to the likely reason for that in a minute. We're only 16 months after the November 2021 69K all-time high, and have already been kissing it just.
That's crazy, actually, looking at this chart. 25 months, 23 months, and 16 months. That's nuts. I think we're in for a super cycle because of all the demand that's going to be coming in, but that's just me. Snake says, never buy coins with your Tangem. Why not? Question, why not? Well, I don't know, actually. I've never done it, so I don't know how that works, to be honest. But I've swapped with the Tangem, and it worked fine. It worked fine. Let me see. What else? Somebody else said, oh, you just can't add new cards to an existing wallet, but you can have multiple wallets. Okay. Yeah. So like if you buy the 2-card setup, you only have 2 cards forever. If you have the 3-card setup, you have 3 cards forever. It's just neat. And they all have different pins and shit. So it's like, you can't get into it with just, you know what I mean? Just by scanning it. Even if you lose one, it is what it is.
A little bit, although we haven't had a big conclusive breakthrough at the time of recording this video. That mega monster candle, maybe by the time you watch this, we will have had, assuming, of course, that it's not going to be just up forever and that there will come a bear market at some point. In that scenario, when can we expect the top of this bull market? Well, in previous cycles, the top came roughly 500 days after the Bitcoin halving. Translated to the current cycle, this would put us roughly September 2025 for the bull market top. The pressing question now becomes, if the new all-time high has come ahead of schedule, then will the bull market peak also come ahead of schedule? If so, this would make the current cycle an accelerated cycle, or a left-handed cycle, with an earlier peak than tradition would have it. and earlier than most people would anticipate, thus catching most of the market with their pants down. The first real sign of the current acceleration we saw in mid-February when BTC blew past a level that in previous cycles has acted as a multi-month resistance level. This was the level around $48,000, which is the 0.618 Fibonacci level on the scale from the bull market top to the bear market low. In previous cycles, it has taken quite a while after the halving to break this 0.618 level. Markets have traditionally wrestled with it half a year or longer post Bitcoin halving, but not now. This time, it really is different, at least for that. But what is causing the mania? What's causing us to break everything? It's no secret, of course, that the catalyst of the current streak of 6 green monthly candles in a row has been the launch of the spot Bitcoin ETF, BlackRock, Fidelity, and all the other Wall Street goons getting in on the party. Their volume and net inflows have beaten expectations of even the most bullish predictors. The ETF floodgates of demand from TradFi sources have been open and have overwhelmed the market, often seeing 10, even sometimes 13, 14x the daily amount of Bitcoin produced by miners being sucked up by Wall Street. The diamond-handed hodlers scorched in the fire of a brutal bear market. Well, they're not so eager to sell their coins. In fact, most coins haven't moved in over a year on chain. Not at these prices, at least they're not selling. Of course, the upcoming Bitcoin halving in April will only add fuel to this fire. Could the ETF break the normal cycle? Well, to an extent, it already has. But what is a normal cycle? A normal cycle is 1 year bear market, then 3 years up. The previous all-time high tends to be breached around the midpoint of the cycles, essentially. Now, when we see the speculative frenzy coming at the end of a bull market, sometimes the blow-off top ending roughly 500 days post-halving, that's when a lot of that money on-chain is going to move and start selling. Now, bear with me for a second here, or should I say, bull with me, by assuming that we're in an accelerated cycle, supposedly that we will conclusively break all-time highs very soon, and from there, rip on just like in the last cycle, but a left translated time schedule. So if you superimpose last cycle's chart from breaching all-time high over the current one, you're going to see that it would mean a $200,000 plus Bitcoin coming as soon as August, a violent run-up, after which the party would be largely over. Get your Uber, go home, or stay until you wake up in your own vomit. Either way, we could see a 2-year-long bear market, or at least sluggish action towards a new bottom.
He's not wrong. Please make sure you guys take profits, because that could be absolutely awful. Real quick, let's see. Nerdbeast says, don't know if you already mentioned this, but I saw a video yesterday about the Dogecoin millionaire. Dude held through and has 1.5 million again since Doge is up. Well, it's a good thing he didn't sell for a loss, and he's probably not going to take profits until he gets back to like the $3 million mark. So I think he still has a little ways to go. Still time for you guys to take profits. KYC as an issue. Coinbase has my social security number, says fully electric. Yeah, so when it comes to buying coins through Tangent, I guess somebody said KYC, you have to KYC or whatever. I mean, realistically, you guys should be paying your taxes anyways. If you don't pay your taxes, then you're going to be paying capital gains, like short-term capital gains on everything you have instead of long-term capital gains. So to each his own. You guys do what you want. I'm not a tax advisor, but I advise you guys to use either I use Coinly. It's super easy, and I have a link in the description if you guys are interested. I don't care if you use it or not, but it literally manages all of your funds too. You can just log into the account and you can see an entire list of everything you have and your entire portfolio. It's super simple and super easy. Actually, Panda uses it too, so he has a code too, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
After that happens, this would mean a thing or two for our selling plan. Obviously, before I get into that, I must talk about some misunderstandings about the whole idea of an accelerated cycle theory anyway. But before I do that, let me interrupt the flow real quick to let you know.
All right, he's going to shill his newsletter. Let's skip forward.
Alpha delivered to your inbox by signing up for free using the link down below in the description.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Now back to the show. So some argue that an accelerated cycle would imply an aggressive run-up earlier than usual in the cycle.
All right, pardon my absence. I got to run upstairs, get my kids something to eat real quick. I'm just going to pour some cereal. You guys can continue to watch this. I'm going to listen on my phone. I'll be right back.
And that's the example that I just gave. But to be clear, an accelerated cycle can also have a non-aggressive increase. Remember, nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody can predict the future here. All it means is that the top is left of the usual cycle top. Also, it certainly does not mean that the cycle will be shorter. That is precisely the nasty thing about a left translated cycle. If it is the same length and the top is before the middle, then chances are the bottom is lower than the previous bottom, which is very problematic, a failed cycle, so to speak. To be sure, the moment at which we break the all-time high says nothing at all about the translation of the cycle. The fact that we are breaking all-time highs earlier than expected before a Bitcoin halving could still imply a very bullish scenario in which we still would have a relatively normal, or even, get this, a right translated cycle or a slower cycle that goes for longer than people expect. Just a few things to keep in mind before you get too nervous. Remember that this is only one scenario out of many. We could also have a right translated cycle topping only in 2026, right? How crazy would that be? That'd screw a lot of people up. Everybody's here waiting to sell in 2025, and then they sell, and then 2026 when we get our top. The point of all this is to say that you should be prepared for any scenario, make your plans accordingly. Some people will argue very passionately that this is the way or that's the way. We should make our own decisions. We need to be ready for any scenario to play out in the markets here. So far, we have talked about time as a predictor for the top, but
that's a great idea. I'm going to make Bitcoin cereal. That's what we need. Bitcoin cereal. Who wants to make it with me? Just give my kid some altcoins. Just dump them in a bowl. Oh, it'd be so funny.
Of course, there are many others. Now, Rect Capital shared this interesting chart the other day. He writes, of course, the technical analysis for our Wealth Mastery newsletter. And that's, of course, looking at the Pi cycle top indicator, a chart pattern or an indicator we talk about a lot. The cycle top indicator tracks two moving averages. Historically, the point in a bull market when the faster moving average, the yellow line, caught up with the 2x multiple of a slower moving average, the green line, we were quite close to a market top. Last time it flashed the signal 3 or 4 days before the actual market top for Bitcoin. So keep all that in mind. Definitely an indicator to keep an eye on. Here's a chart of where the Pi cycle moving averages are now. And check this out. They're converging again, and they're on a collision course currently scheduled for around November 2024. Of course, if and when they collide, depending on the price action. In the meantime, very aggressive price action happens sooner. Muted price action takes longer. It's only a rough guesstimate, this projection. If price action continues like it has done in recent months, then we could expect the indicator to flash before the summer of 2025, which will screw everybody up. It may make this an unreliable indicator in this cycle. If this all feels very uncertain, well, it's because it is. There are no guarantees in investing. There's no guarantees in markets, no guarantees in charts and predictions. And as investors, we just have to embrace all of this. Still, we are not totally in the dark here. When in doubt, again, zoom out. Take a look at the model that has held up pretty damn well since the first days of BTC ever even had a price, and that is the Bitcoin Power Law corridor. The price has over all these years hovered within the lower and top bands. Given the model's wide margins, we can sort of safely assume that the price of Bitcoin in January 2025, for example, is going to be anywhere between $35,000 and $380,000. Wow, Lark, thanks for the alpha here, buddy. Look, but seriously, circling back to the question we started this video with, we can say that the accelerated cycle as an outcome has become more likely than, let's say, a year ago. Before all the ETFs and all that stuff were on the horizon, we weren't even having this conversation. But an accelerated cycle is by no means the only outcome here, or even the base case yet. So what about your selling plan? Assuming, of course, you were even planning to sell any Bitcoin this cycle, should you change your plan? Also note, of course, that when Bitcoin does top, the following 2 to 4 weeks will be the best last chance to get rid of all those altcoin bags for max profits before the bear market sets in. Anyway, all this depends on if your plan hinged on a time schedule for selling your Bitcoin. Anyway, for example, your plan might have been to dollar cost average out just 5% every month during 24 months straight, or the 18 months after we cross new highs, whatever it might be. That might be a less optimal strategy in the case of an accelerated cycle where the market's top in August, in which case you might want to take more profit earlier. So these are all considerations to start thinking about. But if you're just feeling utterly confused by all the possible scenarios, and I get it, I feel it.
Mr. DJ Death Star, thank you for the super chat. He said, have you ever thought about a miner get-together? We actually do. We do. Well, he means crypto miner, not miners. Well, that sounds weird the way you wrote it, but crypto miner get-together. Yes, we do have something that we do together. Hit me up in Discord if you're interested.
You. Okay, there is a way out. Simply forget about time and only look at maybe price targets or certain indicators that can help really try to put it all together. Dollar cost averaging at certain price points out of the market, for example, could be an interesting way to do it. After Bitcoin hits 100K, start selling 5% a week or whatever. You can use the Pi cycle top indicator as a signal to start scaling out. Here's another indicator that has been pretty useful in the past. That's the MVRVZ score. When the MVRVZ score reaches values similar to previous blow-off tops, as you can see on the chart here, then you will know enough is enough and that the market is likely cooked. And then, of course, there's all the usual less definitive stuff, the social signals, your high school friend getting in touch again, asking how to buy dog coins. You got the Coinbase app hitting the top 3 in the App Store, et cetera, stuff we talk about all the time. You'll know enough, regardless of all the calendar date stuff and the theories and whether it's early or regular or late. Pay attention. Just remember, be a bit dispassionate here. Act on the signs when you see them, because the signs will be there. And they'll be super obvious in the bear market in hindsight, but try not to have bear market hindsight. Try to be in the moment and realize the signs in front of you when they're happening and pay attention to them. The signals will be there. You just have to listen.
Yeah, signals will be there, but you'll never catch the top, unfortunately. I mean, you might get lucky, you might catch it, but the biggest thing to take out of that video is just kind of understanding the cycle that, you know, this accelerated cycle is it's going to be nuts. I mean, obviously the ETF catalyst, a lot of people coming in. We need to have a goal. You guys need to make sure you write down what your goals are, get to that point and sell it. It doesn't matter if you could have made 10% more, right? I mean, obviously, yeah, it's unfortunate, but guess what? You got to your goal. You should be happy with that. You know what I mean? Take what you get and don't get upset. That's what they say, right? All right, let's get into this. 1 million Bitcoin, rather. Price target way sooner than 2030. Let's see. Kathy Wood is on the front of Altcoin Daily's video. Let's see what they got to say. Hit that like button, guys. Appreciate you for hanging out.
So if you had that bull case for more than 1 million USD Bitcoin, has your forecast timeline to reach that price now shortened?
Bitcoin's price is on a tear. Today, it touched $70,000. The price is flying higher and higher every day as demand vastly outstrips supply. A lot of people are saying that Bitcoin's price can hit 100K before the halving.
Can I be honest? The Bitcoin is for holding, in my opinion. Altcoins are for selling. Most altcoins are for selling. Obviously, if you want to hold something, fine. But guys, shit's going to pull back at some point, okay? Even Bitcoin. But you know what? I'm not willing to sell my Bitcoin at this point and have it go completely, you know, just out of the realm of me able to acquire it. So I would rather just hold as much Bitcoin as I can and sell my altcoins when the time comes. So when I get to that point, again, of my goal to sell and to make money, I'm going to sell the altcoins and hopefully that will be enough. You know what I mean?
It's incredible, the digital gold rush we're seeing happening in crypto right now.
Well, because I want to see where Bitcoin is in 2030, to be honest. That's the main reason I don't want to sell this cycle. I'll sell maybe next cycle on Bitcoin, right?
Make sure you subscribe to our channel to get an edge in the market. I don't think most people realize if this keeps going the way it's going, Bitcoin's price can hit $1 million way sooner than 2030.
He's not wrong.
This is insane. Kathy Wood,
but I think we need to break 100,000 first,
is moving up her $1 million Bitcoin price prediction way sooner than 2030. Listen, tell me what you think.
Your price target for Bitcoin is bull case north of 1 million US dollars. So if you had that bull case for more than 1 million USD Bitcoin, has your forecast timeline to reach that price now shortened?
Yes, that target, what we evolved in, it was before the SEC gave us the green light. And I think.
Did she just rip one? You hear that?
What we evolved in, it was before the SEC gave us the green light.
So is that a joint?
And I think that was a major milestone, and it has pulled forward the timeline. One thing I will say, right now, no
Yeah, it
wirehouse.
was just feedback, but it sounded funny.
So whether we're talking about Morgan Stanley or Merrill Lynch, B of A, or UBS or Wells Fargo, no platform has approved Bitcoin yet. So all of this price action has happened before they approve it. And so, we haven't even begun.
So what's your timeline for 1 million USD Bitcoin now? And is there perhaps a price target beyond that now?
Yes, our target is above that. We've got a 2030 target. So it's well above that. And with our new expectations for institutional involvement, the incremental price that we assume for institutions actually has more than doubled. So, I don't want to give out any particular prices, but because we don't know how quickly the more independent registered investment advisors in the United States, those platforms are saying, give us 3 months to do our due diligence. The others are saying we need at least 6 months. So, I would put those in the institutional bucket as well.
But in your view,
Mr. DJ, mine's in the chat, getting all pervy on us. This is Kathy when she was younger, apparently. I'm happily married.
Kathy, all of the factors are moving the price of this in an upwards trajectory.
Yes, indeed.
Here's the thing, guys.
She was
There
cute, though.
will be volatility. There is no opportunity without volatility. The last Bitcoin bull market had 13 corrections of 10% or more as Bitcoin rallied from 3,800 to 69,000.
Crazy.
What, do you think we're going to get to 1 million without a few dips?
Yeah, that's a good point, too.
Intelligent money is pouring into Bitcoin, and no one knows how high this thing is going. Act accordingly. Real quick, my friends.
Nope. Use Coinly, not this one. Jesus Christ, this is a long ass freaking shill. At least, you know what? Honestly, though, I give him credit because they timestamp their shills, so you could just skip it.
I'm even more excited about altcoins. Think about this. In the
So he
last
said he's excited about Bitcoin, but he's more excited about altcoins, so I assume.
30 days, 73,000 Ethereum got burnt. Bitcoin's supply flow decreases with time. Ethereum's supply decreases with time. And the Ethereum
But it's unlimited, so does that matter?
chart looking great, flirting with 4,000 price range and above. Just checking in with the Ethereum network, Ethereum generated 190 million plus in weekly fees revenue, putting it at an annualized rate of over 10 billion for the first time since early 2022. Think about it like this. Due to Ethereum's fee burning mechanism, this also has an impact on the supply, decreasing it by 33,000 ETH, about 125 million this week. We are entering a golden age for Ethereum. I'm serious about this. Ethereum and altcoins are about to enter a golden age. Or are we? I ask this to you. Are we about 2 months away from the start of a very long golden age for Ethereum and ETH? I think so. This analyst thinks so. This is the thesis.
The only reservation I have with Ethereum is the fact that it's unlimited, and if the government wants to just hold Vitalik by his balls and squeeze it a little, can they make him print more for them? That's the only concern I really have with Ethereum.
In my opinion, new changes to 3 big factors for Ethereum, the big upgrade coming up, suggests yes, an ETH golden age is about to begin.
That doesn't mean you can't make money with it, right? But just that's the real concern.
Price increases have been great, but regrettably, Ethereum has still been underperforming for years. That's all about to change. ETH's underperformance these past 3 years comes down to 3 factors.
That's the only reason I think that is because they can't, like, they're just going to continuously print money, and that just, it's just going to continuously be devalued. and they are already way too late on making their own cryptocurrency. So it's not going to come easily. That's for sure. Ethereum's already the second biggest coin by market cap on the planet. Like, it's an easy in for the government if they wanted to do something like that and control it.
Short, the three factors
My
are
opinion.
this. These things are changing. Factor number one, Ethereum has been seen as illegitimate for years. The ETH ETF in May fixes this. Number two, L2s have been viewed as clunky. The big upgrade adds blobs next week, and general growth are fixing this. And then number three, L2s has been seen as kind of parasitic to Ethereum. Now, the latest data on L2s to L1, symbiosis, fixes this. So all of these items are getting solved. The reason for ETH's underperformance these past few years are ending. Ethereum is about to become a consensus bet. Ethereum's golden age is finally arriving in about 2 months.
You know what? I think Ethereum could probably go to 5 figures. I don't see why not, to be honest. Between 7, 10K or so. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat what you guys think it'll get to.
I see a lot of FUD, people saying that the Ethereum ETFs can never be as successful as the Bitcoin ETFs. Guys, that's
not
so
true.
Short-sighted and simple-minded.
Absolutely.
Saying ETH ETF flows would be insignificant is pure cope. Absolute minimum I expect is 1/3 of Bitcoin flows indexed to relative market cap. Although in a bull market, I expect far more. TradFi has had...
I actually agree because like people getting into the ETF, like they can buy an entire coin way cheaper with Ethereum than they can BTC. So there's obviously an easier in for people to hold more.
So many ways to get exposure to Bitcoin. Ethereum has had relatively fewer. ETFs change this. Do you think the Ethereum ETFs get approved in May? I'd say yes, but it seems...
I don't think in May. I think it's going to get delayed.
Only one man stands in their way.
They'll stretch it
Gary
out as
Gensler
far
just
as they
gave
can.
an Ethereum update on the ETF May 23rd deadline. Listen.
You are facing a deadline coming up in May around a spot Ethereum ETF.
I love this girl. She gives him so much shit.
Haley, you had to
I
get
do
your
have to
crypto
ask this
in.
question. Of course, we are now about 2 months into a world in which spot Bitcoin products exist. They have had incredible demand, more than $8 billion in inflows. Now the optimism is Ether spot ETFs are next. Do you not first have to settle the question as to whether Ether is a security or a commodity? Can you answer that first?
Well,
you guys remember we wouldn't answer that in front of the chair? It's yeah.
Again, on any one of these crypto tokens, it's about the facts and circumstances as to whether the investing public is anticipating a profit based on the efforts of others. But we do have filings in front of us. I'm not going to comment. I will say this is a highly speculative asset class. One could just look at the volatility of Bitcoin in the last few days. And look, I grew up loving roller coasters. Maybe in my adult years, I don't ride them as much, but you really should be conscious as the investing public that this is a bit of a roller coaster ride on these volatile assets. And then the question is how firm is the foundation of the, you get to the top of that hill, how's the foundation underneath it? And are there cash flows or what's the use case? For thousands of these tokens, there's about 15 or 20,000 of them. They also may be securities because the investing public is relying on the efforts of some group of entrepreneurs in the middle of these projects.
And would you consider Ether as part of that group that may be securities?
I understand you're asking the question, but again, I'm going to defer on that question.
Finally, guys.
He's such a boob. Piranha Cards said, I'd honestly rather listen to Biden talk than this guy.
It's just
I don't know. Maybe not.
Part in this competition. Commonwealth airdropping $2.4 million in VC allocation to hot, unlaunched Web3 projects for free.
Guys, be careful with airdrops, please. Don't link your wallets to this shit. Get a new wallet and link it if you're going to do it.
We're partnered with
My
them.
opinion. Oh, God, he's shilling something else. Fucking A. All right, we're going to get out of here because he's just going to shill that the whole rest of the time. Anyways, all right, that's going to do it. Let's get into the recap segment of things, see what we're looking like for Bitcoin 68,657. Again, it is the weekend. They cannot trade ETFs. So let's see how we hold up throughout the weekend. And obviously, we'll be back on Monday, and they're going to, these prices are probably going to move shortly after we're live on Monday morning. Let's see. Link an empty wallet. Well, yeah, make sure it's empty. You know what you're gonna have to do though, so we're not getting out of here just yet. We'll get out of here in a few minutes, but what you'll have to do is obviously, like, some of these airdrops require you guys to do some sort of transactions, but like if you're interested in airdrops, I think there's a man who found it for me. Lawnmower Man, was it you actually that found the airdrop like list? If you have that, you know what, I'll open Discord. If you could send that in Discord again, that would be amazing. I'm gonna see if hopefully it doesn't crash my stream. I don't think it will, but if you did give me that list, can you Crypto KJ, can you post that in Discord real quick for me, and I'll put in the link, or you could just put the link in the chat. Actually, you're a mod, so yeah, just put the link in the chat if you can, and I'll open it up. But yeah, there's like a whole list of airdrops, right? And if there's certain requirements to like trade, like use Jupiter for exchanging or whatever, like with the Phantom wallet, like we got that when airdrop, just link a different wallet, link a brand new wallet, and put a little bit of money in it and do the transaction that you need to do. You know what I mean? Here it is. Thank you, Mr. Crypto KJ, my man. Appreciate you. Oh geez, what's happened? All right, so airdrop and points checker. How did we do this? I forget. Oh, you just put your address in. No, wasn't there something else though? Hold on. How do I? You have to have an account. Airdrop points checker. No, so this was the this is different. Crypto KJ, Lawnmower Man, if I'm not mistaken, you had a site where we could, like, there was listed airdrops or something. Not the checker. This checker right here though, if you guys are interested, you can just put your address in here and it'll tell you if you're eligible for the airdrop. But again, you have to link your wallets and shit. I would just be careful, be mindful on that. Let me see, I think, or something like that. Yeah, I can't remember, Lawnmower Man. I swear I thought it was you in the VIP that said you found it. I have to look. I don't see it. I don't have it in the pins. It's in the VIP chat. If anybody's a member, by the way, and you're not in the VIP, feel free to link your YouTube with Discord and you guys will get access to that chat that I'm pretty much in with these guys all freaking day. Oh my god, brutal. Anyways, yeah, I don't know where it is, but there's like a whole site you guys can check for airdrops, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, everything's looking good, guys. I think we're doing pretty well. Somebody asked about Chlor AI and what I think about it. I mean, honestly, so like I opened up the site, distributed supercomputer that fits your needs. I guess let's see, access GPU computing nodes for community members all around the world, rent a server. So I guess you can rent servers and stuff through their site. So like if it has a utility like this, then yeah, of course it's going to do well, right? I don't see why not. It's no different than, like, what's the difference between this and Vast though? That's kind of a question that I'd like to know. Can you just rent out your equipment and people can pay you in Chlor? Like, how does this work? Does anybody know? If you guys know, please let me know, because I have never really looked into this that far. I knew it had something to do with rent, like computer renting or whatever, but yeah, I'm not sure much more about that. Let's see. All right, how's Caspa looking? Mr. Luke, my man, appreciate you, buddy. Asked about Caspa. I think it's a good time to buy right now, actually, to be honest. Looking at the 1 year, it looks like it's making another flag. That's going to be my opinion. I wonder if we're going to drag it out a little bit and then it'll pop, but we'll see. I think I might buy some more. I bought some yesterday at 15 cents. I bought $1,000 worth yesterday at 15 cents actually, and I did it directly through the Tangent wallet, and it was freaking so easy. I was like, wow. And it was way cheaper. It was $5. $5 it cost me. And with the Coinbase video I did literally the day before I even knew I could swap inside the Tangent, it cost me $9 to swap 100 into Caspa. That was literally like a 10% of the money. So simple swap. I like the company, but shit, that fee was way too much for me. I didn't like that at all. That was terrible. All right, let me see what else you guys got. Any last questions? Airdrops.io, is that it? Oh yes, Steven Cicero, love you long time. Thank you, buddy. I don't want this. Ooh, okay, so look, latest airdrops. Okay, and then they have hottest airdrops. Confirm featured. Let me see. Airdrops are freaking, I don't trust any of them, but I don't even know. I'm just gonna click on one, maybe parallel network. Bad idea. I'm just clicking on shit. I don't recommend you guys click on shit and random websites. I want like a date. Does it tell you the dates? I'm missing something. Latest potential airdrops. Solana airdrops. Solana airdrops. Expired. Oh, this was so that was the win token. What's this one? Parcel. Why does it not tell you the time? Flame airdrop. No. I want like the dates. Why is there no dates? Anybody know? Steven Cicero, do you know? Because it's kind of a neat site, right? If it tells you all the potential airdrops, and if there is a site that'll give you the dates and what you need to do. I mean, I'm assuming if you sign up or whatever, you can find out more about this. Let me see. $300 in 6 days. I found it in VIP. Simple search. Newbie. Yeah, shut up. I hate you. You're the worst. You're the worst. Oh, right here. It says it in the, if I just read. Okay, so Jitto, whatever the hell this is airdropping 100 million JTO to various early users based on snapshot taken over November 25th, 2023. So, or on rather, November 25th, 2023. So there's, I guess it does tell you that the dates and stuff. Nice. So if you guys are interested in airdrops, then yeah, whatever. But I don't trust them, to be honest. It's just kind of, I don't know, airdrops sketchy as shit. Anyways, all right, guys, I love you all, but I have to do shit today. I gotta finish my studio. Hopefully you guys have a great and happy Saturday. We'll be back later on tonight. If you guys have any suggestions for what you want to talk about tonight with the group of guys, Max Voltage, Geek of All Trades, The Mining King, and Hawk Crypto Mining will all be live on this channel. We were gonna go to Geek of All Trades, but I think he's doing something else today, so I think I'm gonna give him next week. We'll figure it out. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later on tonight, and I'll see you guys bright and early on Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go and see Mr. Crypto Mikkel, guys. Smash that like over there for him if you can't stay. That would be much appreciated, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out and have a good day. Throw your suggestions in the comments, please. Thank you, Gaming with Smokey Dan. Appreciate it. And everybody else, thank you so much. Peace, peace.
Eat shit, Gary.